Yay Media Group.
Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS.
Okay, we have so much to talk about, and I want to start with this. Do you use Peter Thomas Roth's products?
You know, I think I've tried them before in the past. Like there some eye thing that they had. I don't know if it was but a long time ago.
He's a very popular skincare brand.
Yeah.
So he came in the news recently when he was mentioned in the Epstein files, the latest drop that came out. So he put out a post on his Instagram story to explain why he was in the files and how he is innocent. So here was his statement. Jeffrey Epstein was my physics teacher when I was 17 in the 12th grade at the Dalton School. We stayed in touch casually in the nearly 5 decades that followed. I visited Epstein's Manhattan residence once to show him some skincare products that I shipped to him at his request and left after a brief meeting in his dining room. I was never present with him for any activity that was inappropriate, never attended his parties, never flew on his plane, and never traveled to his island. When allegations surrounding Epstein's behavior first surfaced, I was in disbelief that he could commit such heinous crimes. I was gravely mistaken. I'm horrified by the crimes he committed. And the lasting impact they have had on the victims, and I deeply regret maintaining any association with him after the Dalton School. Peter Thomas Roth. So, 2 things. First of all, he was a teacher?
Oh, I did not know that.
Did not know that either. Second thing, when he posted this, the comments went wild.
Oh, what were the comments?
Screenshots from the files.
No.
Completely, not even shooting holes, blowing bombs through what he is saying here. So in 2007, mind you, Jeffrey was under investigation initially in 2005. Where's my notes?
Trey, you are like prepared.
Oh, yeah, I am. So basically, he sent an email in 2007 saying, like, we will always be your friend no matter what happens, no matter what they say about you in the press. We will always be your friend and we will always support you. And he capitalized always and said, if there's anything we can do for you, we promise we will always be here for you. What else is interesting is Peter Thomas Roth emailed Jeffrey Epstein in 2018 an email with a link to an article posted by, I think it was the New York Times. And the article is a photo of Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein. The title says, Steve Bannon trying to get on disgraced Jeffrey Epstein's good side. And this is talking about how the first line says, Steve Bannon shares a secret meeting with reviled billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein at the financier's notorious Upper East Side mansion. Do you know what Peter Thomas Roth said in this email, why he sent this link?
No.
He said, great picture of you, in an article about him being a pedophile. So you're telling me that
insane.
you had no idea he was a pedophile, but you're sending him links of articles about him being a pedophile saying, hey, great photo of you. Like,
that is crazy.
Is that not just kind of
So
odd?
did he end up turning his comments off or?
No.
Oh, they're just still on. Okay.
Yeah. So then he goes on to send a few more emails saying like, hey, had a great time showing your girls how my products work. He was very well aware of what was going on well into this happening. And if you're like, well, maybe he didn't. Well, I mean, he sent an email about him being a pedophile to him. But let's talk about Hermes. So Axel Dumas is the CEO of Hermes. He, in these files, is mentioned because there were multiple emails sent from Epstein's team to Hermes requesting a meeting with Dumas. Dumas told his team, I do not want any association with him. He is a known sleazy businessman and he is not an upstanding person. I don't want anything to do with him. No, thank you. This was between 2012 and 2014. Then, when that was not working, Epstein went and donated a large sum of money to a charity that Hermes was publicly tied to. Hermes caught word of this, rejected the check, and said, we will give the money instead. We don't want Epstein on your books. This guy needs to leave us alone. This went so far as there was an article printed that says Hermes chief Dumas says Epstein kept trying to target him.
That's insane. Good
So
for him.
all of that to be said, people knew what was going on.
Yes.
And it's very interesting now to see those.
And he was smart enough to be like, I want nothing touching me.
So it's smart to see those that aligned with him, because Peter Thomas Roth thought, well, maybe he's a pedophile, but he can still do something for me. As to where Hermes was like, no, thank you. And also don't touch anyone we're associated with.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Fascinating, right?
Hermes gets a lot of heat, even from us at times, because I do think that the game's a little crazy. They play there with the bags and stuff, but good for them. Like, that makes me think that, that's great.
So also, just side note, did you know that Caroline Stanbury was romantically linked to Prince Andrew?
No, never.
They allegedly dated for a year between 2000 and 2001.
Really?
All roads lead to Bravo.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Also, I need to do a deep dive into Caroline Radswell's friendship with Ghislaine Maxwell, because it's kind of deep. If you haven't research it, but I'm going to do it and we're going to talk about it one day. So in these files, something that was not redacted was the login info for Jeffrey Epstein's corporate FedEx account.
Okay.
So he had this FedEx account. The login and the password were in the files, and The Ditch, which is a journalism website, found it.
Oh gosh.
Logged in and found something very interesting. So here's the highlights. So they logged into his account. He died in 2019. What they found was the account has been active as of summer of 2024, despite him dying in 2019. The address book had Ghislaine Maxwell's information, some French modeling agents' information, Lex Wessner's information, but there was a package that was delivered to Plan D LLC in Kenesaw, Georgia. And Plan D LLC is a company that Epstein used for his private jets, but that company is since no longer, he doesn't have any more jets. But it was, something was sent to that company in 2024. Another package was sent on March 12th of 2024 from Georgia to West Palm Beach. So there's a whole investigation on what this was. And as The Ditch is doing this investigation, FedEx completely wipes any sort of trace of information of Epstein having an account.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? So also, just on a side note, in July of 2020, a gunman posed as a FedEx driver went to the home of U.S. Judge Esther Salas, who was presiding over the lawsuit pertaining to a bank in Epstein, and that gunman killed her son and wounded her husband.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So somewhere, for some reason, people are still using Epstein's account, but the question now is, what is being shipped from these places where he was very widely known to kind of hang around? What is still being shipped there? If he has no business and everything's dissolved.
Yeah.
Weird, right?
That's super weird. Yeah.
That's my Epstein file.
Well, Trey,
Deep
that was
dive.
super interesting.
I'm so glad I could give that to you.
Like you did some work. You've done some work.
All right, we have to take a break real quick, but when you come back, I want to talk about something that Stephanie's done a little more of a deep dive on, which is the new Tyra Banks documentary that I have not finished yet.
What?
I know. We'll be right back. All right, so have you finished Tyra Banks documentary?
Yes, I did it in one day.
I know. I did not watch America's Next Top Model when it was on.
Oh, I did. It was so huge. I mean, we have a little bit of an age gap, believe it or not. I know I look so young. I look like I could be his baby sister, but that's not the case. But I used to watch this show growing up. It was huge. When it first came out, it was huge. And back in the day, there were many problematic shows out there. I mean, like some crazy, I remember there was this one show on MTV. It was like, I don't know what it was like, maybe almost like Hot or Not, like this woman or guy was standing by a bus and these people got off and pretty much they were like, no, you're ugly. And it was horrible. It was so bad. Right. So I watched Top Model, and then there was a point where it just was like, I feel like they just took it, like Tyra became, like she was trying to be an actress or something. after the Jays left, I think everything kind of went downhill. But yeah, I watched it when everyone watched it when it first came out. It was huge.
So what was your thought watching the documentary?
I felt like everybody, the three guys, I felt like looked the best. I mean, they were at least taking responsibility and being like, yeah, it was a different time, but this stuff like felt uneasy at the time. Like I think Jay tried to quit at one point, and then she ended up but I just feel like she looked horrible, if I'm going to be honest. Like she took no responsibility. And in the end, Miss J had, I think, a stroke or something, had not been, was hospitalized, had not walked, lost a lot of mobility, and everybody had surrounded him and been there for him, except for her. She had never reached out to any. I don't know. I just feel like it was almost like, well, y'all wanted this, so I just gave you what y'all wanted, and then there's no responsibility. It was
as someone who has not really ever watched Top Model, it was interesting to see how she would switch back and forth between, I was the editor, I was in control, I was in charge. That was production, and I had nothing to do with production. She wants to claim full glory, but she doesn't want to take any responsibility. And it was just interesting to see how she teetered back and forth on that. I want to know what she was told going into this that made her feel so confident that she could just not take any responsibility for any of this.
I think she probably went in thinking that, I think she probably did not realize how bad she looked. I don't know. Or either the producers hated her, one or the other, because she looked horrible. But also, I agree. I don't like that she was like, this was my baby. I can, conceptualize the whole thing. I was in charge. And then I felt like she would always try to shift the blame. And whenever you're that heavily involved, I thought another part that was super sad is, I forget the girl's name. There was one girl who ended up getting blackout drunk.
Where they invited the boys over?
They invited the boys over, and she ended up sleeping with someone else. And she did not know. She said she was coming in and out of consciousness when this was happening. She just remembers the guy on top of her. I mean, that's rape. I mean, I'm just say what it is. That is not okay. And the fact that a camera crew just sat there, and I get that you're filming a reality show, but at some point, I think you have a responsibility to these girls and to their parents and people that thought that they were going to be protected, to say, okay, this is not okay. Enough is enough.
And I might have seen this in an interview on TikTok. The judges, the three guys that were in the documentary, it was the photographer and the two judges, came out and said these girls didn't know what was happening 5 minutes from now, let alone have time to plan something. Yeah. They did not invite these guys over. This was planned for them.
And I remember watching that show, and I mean, as a viewer, and I was probably high school, I'm thinking, when this was out, this show would give you a eating problem, because they would say everyone was fat. It would be a size 4, and they're like, yep, you're a plus size model. I'm like, what? They would just, everybody who I would love to look like would be a dream body. They were like, nope, you look horrible. We had to do so much retouching. I'm like, what are you talking about? These girls looked amazing, but it was such a toxic, for women, I think it was very, very toxic. And at the time you just watched it because you were like, every girl wants to be a model, right? At some point they're like, oh, I want to be pretty enough for somebody to think I can be a model. But it was a very crazy show because they were so hard on these girls, these very impressionable girls in their bodies. And then, and I bet you half the girls hardly ate because they were being fat shamed on a daily basis when they were a size 0 too. So yeah, any amount of alcohol, if you're not taking care of yourself and eating and doing things the right way, and you're exhausted and overworked and stressed, and your body's probably going to get drunk really, really, really fast.
I have a hard time thinking that Tyra didn't know how this documentary was going to go, because they kind of included some more recent reviews of the show that people have done on TikTok, and there was kind of a resurgence of America's Next Top Model during COVID, and people were rewatching it and posting their reviews and their shots. If I was Tyra, I would have watched that and been like, what is the temperature of this show? And I don't know that we're doing this documentary because things were amazing and we're just reliving the glory of it, but maybe that's exactly what she thought. But something that the models pointed out was she would come on Top Model and shame them for their body image, But it was around that same time that she had her talk show, and there was a paparazzi photo that was on the cover of a magazine fat shaming her, and she did this whole body positive episode where she came out in a swimsuit.
She was so mad. I remember watching her talk show because she was like, "You can kiss my fat ass," or something like that, and she wore the swimsuit. And I remember the picture in the paparazzi. I mean, that was like in like a. I was old enough to remember all that. It was big news, and I think on the paparazzi show, I remember this like so specifically. The caption was "America's Next Top Waddle." Was the caption with her. I swear to God, on that thing. I remember because I was like, what in the world? Because again, Tyra Banks was not fat. It was just like in a day and age where everybody was, I don't know if this still goes on, but I mean, there was a time where it would be like, celebrities have cellulite too. And it would like show all the celebrities in like the worst lighting ever to make you feel good about yourself as a mere mortal. Do you remember that? And all these, I don't know if I don't really get the magazines anymore, I think, because now everything's online, but it was like, it was crazy. So of course she saw that and it would piss me off. Like I'd be like, what the hell? Like nobody. Well,
but it's also the monster she created is fighting her.
But also she treated those girls the same way. I mean, she was like, made them feel horrible about themselves. And sometimes I would watch and I'd be like, why is she giving this person this makeover? I mean, like the makeovers were horrific half the time. Like it was so bad. Yes.
The surgeries. And then that one girl that she forced her to close her gap in her teeth. And then like a few seasons later, they were widening someone else's gap. Like
it's crazy.
Very interesting. What's another show that is on TV more recently that you think is going to have a documentary one day?
Well, I want to talk about another TV show. And this one was I saw this morning for some reason. I was scrolling TikTok and it was something, something Miriam. Have you seen this?
No.
It was in the UK. I think it was like a London-based reality show. And it was called There's Something About Miriam. Okay. And it was these guys. It was like a dating show, kind of like The Bachelor, Bachelorette. And there was this girl and she had a secret. And there were like these, like from the clips I saw, there were like these 10 guys, okay? And they were vying for her affection. And she was beautiful. She was like from Mexico and she had this secret that she would like hint around to, but never say what it was, okay? And these guys were like going on dates with her, kind of like The Bachelor, making out with her, doing all these things, right? So at the end, she chooses this guy and the guys the whole time were trying to figure out what the secret was that she was keeping, right? So guess what the secret was?
What? She's a lesbian?
No.
Oh, no idea.
So at the end, she picks this guy.
Was she a man?
Yes. She was transgender, which is fine. But the guys were like, they sued her, like the network, because they were like, this is not cool. Like you bring us on the show, do this whole deception thing. It was like, and they were like, well, she was under a contract as well to where, but it was just those were the kind of shows that were around back in the top model days, I remember there's this other show that I watched. Oh my gosh, this was like probably 2006, 2007, I'm guessing. And it was on MTV and it was called the something artist, the like pickup artist. Did you watch this?
No.
Oh my God, Trey, you like really lived in a very boring time compared to me because there were some crazy things. It was a pickup artist and there was this guy, Mystery. And then he had two other friends. I mean, they looked crazy. Like if you look at them now, they look crazy. Like Mystery looked like a pirate with it was just crazy. Like he just looked crazy. Like literally Pirates of the Caribbean almost, right? And then his two friends, they like now if you saw them, you'd be like, these three guys are the biggest tools ever. But the pickup artists, so they would take these like guys who had no game. And they would teach them how to have game and pretty much how to manipulate women, if we're being honest, right? Like you go out and these are what we're going to do. And we're going to take a break real quick for a commercial and we'll be right back. And I'll let you know about this show.
Okay, what is the show called?
The Pickup Artist is a show. And it was back in the day. And you can probably find clips on TikTok, but it was crazy. So they would, Mystery and these three friends would show you how to go out and like, in my opinion, pretty much manipulate women, like how to go out and like hit on girls and get their attention and bring girls home pretty much. And then the guys would have to do these lessons where they would learn like a new tool on how to get women, and Mystery and his friends would go to a bar with hidden cameras and they would kind of show them how to work these these tricks. And then at the end, whoever had the most game, like they had one where they went into the wild, these boys did, and they had to use all their tools and see who was like the pickup artist and who could be friends with Mystery and be part of their like wolf gang. Oh. And then I think they also won like a little bit of money, maybe $100,000 or something. It was the stupidest show ever. But I remember watching it being like, what in the world?
That was like the thing though. Like I feel like the shock factor was what sold then.
It was so crazy.
Like you think like Fear Factor when they first aired, they had like 20 million viewers.
This one was it was huge. So I remember being in Vegas. This was either maybe for my bachelorette party, but maybe a little before that. But I was definitely with Travis. I remember this. Like I was definitely like I was either engaged or it was my bachelorette party. And I remember being in the pool with all my girlfriends. We went on like a girls trip in Vegas. And there was this guy that was, these two guys, they were a little nerdy, if I'm going to be honest, like did not really have any game, right? They were in the pool and I'm a nice person. You give a few glasses of wine to me, I'll talk to anybody, right? Like I was just having fun talking. Well, this one guy tried to do one of the tricks that Mystery, like the pickup lines, it was like this whole like rehearsed thing that Mystery did on this show. And he was doing it to me. And to this day, I really do feel bad about this.
Did you immediately pick up on it?
I called him out immediately. I was like, oh my God, you watch the pickup artist and you're trying to, I was like, I'm engaged. No. But I like called him out. I was like, oh my God, like you are trying to do like this thing from the pickup artist. Like I've seen this show.
What did he say?
And I think I really embarrassed him. Like he became very,
he probably never tried again.
Me. Like I think I think I should not have done that. I should have just let him have his moment. But I just was so drunk. I was like, oh my God, the pickup artist. Like totally. I think he felt like I was making fun of him. And maybe I don't remember much. I just remember him like feeling very defeated. And I should have just not done it. But that's my story about the pickup artist.
Is there a show on TV today that you think will be a documentary one day? Or something more recent?
Housewives. Honestly, yeah.
There is going to be a deep dive into Housewives one day that will be deep.
I think it will. I think Housewives will be one. I think, what else is there? I mean, I think a lot of the Bravo shows probably, I mean, the Kardashians are definitely going to be probably a movie about them one day, right? I mean,
There's been some good documentaries. Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the crew did like a documentary after it was done with Netflix. It didn't get much traction. Caitlyn was in it. Some of the crew members were in it. But I think Chris did a really great job at just like squishing it down. But they were kind of talking about all the stuff that they did on the show that was scripted or that they like staged to make good TV. But they never went like below the belt with each other.
No, I think Housewives is different because you're not family. Like you really want to do a show where you're with family. That's the thing. That's the lesson in life, people. I'll have people message me sometimes like, oh, my so-and-so that I know is what they're trying to do another like Southern Charm somewhere. And they're like, and they're auditioning. Can you give them guidance? And I'm very honest. I said, no, I can't because I would not wish that on somebody that I really cared about. It's a hard life. And I don't think a lot of people can navigate it in a great way. And you can end up really like having a lot of regrets. I don't really have a lot of regrets with Housewives, but I think I'm one of the very few people who was able to go in. And I feel like, Cruz did send me a text message the other day where I was like, hold on, I have to read it to you real quick because hold on, let me find him. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. This child of mine.
Oh, no.
Hold on. You're going to die. Cruz. Here he is. He's so cute. So I was out of town. So he was just wanting me to send my mom all these recipes. And then he said on Tuesday, my friend said that he loves you on your reality TV show. And I said, oh, my God, they need to take this thing off the air.
I mean, you never did anything crazy.
No, I mean, just talked about poop a lot and stuff. But also, I did deal with depression and stuff like that. Like that stuff that even though I don't regret bringing it out, it like kind of makes me uncomfortable. My kids will see that. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't know. It's something I really don't know if I would have ever told my children. I don't know. Maybe I would.
But it's a good conversation to have. I think it is. I think there are a lot of people that put other business on especially on shows like that, and you were also very, very conscious of like your kids will watch this show one day.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I should go to them and talk to them. I don't know. I don't know if they've seen like certain episodes or not. I mean, we talk about depression and stuff a lot because it's something that I have, but I've really never said, Mommy, this happened to Mommy when she was, like younger. I don't know. It's something I maybe should talk to my therapist about. Because I did put it out there. I probably should maybe have, I don't know. So that's like things that are kind of weird, just knowing that not even just my kids, but my kids' friends, I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah. So it's just weird. That's kind of the weird thing is it's just out there forever. I mean, It really is. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I can give people great advice because I think that reality TV is very hard to navigate and I don't think it's for everybody. And I also think it can really destroy somebody's soul if they don't know what they're getting into and they're easily manipulated. And I feel like I would be one of the more easily manipulated people. For some reason, I think I was raised with, two parents who had a very big moral compass that I just never wanted to lose my morality on a TV show. But a lot of people I think want to please so badly and want to make like good TV so badly that they forget who they are in the process.
Well, I think you've got to know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
I think like, I take Lisa Rinna, for example. She is such a great villain on Traitors, but she was such a great cast member on Housewives. But she came in and she knew the job she was doing. I don't think she ever takes anything personal. She comes in, she clocks in and she clocks out.
And she like looks at it as an acting job, I'm sure, right? Yes. Like but her children are also used to her being an actress and you know what I'm saying? I think that's a very different thing than just like somebody who's, a stay-at-home mom or somebody who, who isn't in that LA scene.
Yeah.
And
But she just launched or released a book. And so she was doing like a book tour and I saw this video on TikTok. Someone was asking her about the upcoming Traitors reunion. They asked her like what she said to Colton at the reunion. And she was like, listen, like I'm sticking to gameplay. Like I'll be dirty when it comes to gameplay, but like I'm not touching his like past stalker allegations and all that stuff. Like there's still boundaries within people that are seasoned professionals in this space. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But I think you need to know why you're doing it. Like if you're going on a show, what's the purpose? What's the bigger purpose? Because it can't just be to go on a show. You got to have some other bigger goal.
I really don't know what my goal was. My goal was literally, I was bored and thought it would be fun. And I was doing it with my best friend. So I did not really have a purpose. So I would agree with you. I did not follow that for myself. Like I was never trying to sell anything. I never really wanted to start a little business or anything. I think I just felt like I lost myself in becoming a mom. And I was kind of in a position where I didn't want to be like Travis Holman's wife. I wanted to have my own identity. And whenever I moved here and got engaged and then got married and had children, like his life, I felt like my life was the supporting role. Like I was like supporting his dreams, but not living to create any of my own dreams besides just being a mom and a wife. And I wanted a little bit more out of my life and it gave me something that I was looking for, but also it was really hard at the same time. It was not an easy road to travel. I will say that. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Holman on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast at BS the Podcast, and you can watch us on YouTube at Weekly Dose of BS. Bye.